Hello, everyone. So I've had to go through a power outage that was my power was out for several days, and I got really behind on posting. Unfortunately, the tragedy of having your power out for about a week is the fact that your chores and things that you can't get done stack up. In addition to, of course, finding warmth. So I'm behind on my videos. So this one's going to be quick. It's just a list of books I read for this month. Murder and Mayhem in Washtenaw County by a local historian named James Thomas Mann. I Have a Dream, Writings and Speeches That Changed the World. This is just a collection of Martin Luther King Jr.'s speeches and some of his writings, such as letters. The End of White World Supremacy, 4 speeches. This is actually not a book by Malcolm X, although he is on the cover right here. This book is actually by Benjamin Karim, and when we talk about some of these civil rights leaders, you got to keep in mind they were assassinated in the 60s, so you had to comb over archival footage and things like that to be able to transcribe some of these. Ain't I a Woman? More so a book on philosophy. This is a good read for people who are intersectional feminists. A Little Secret for Dealing with Teens. This was just a fun read by a woman who says you should bring business principles to dealing with your teenage children. On Tyranny, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century. This was a good book. I actually did a video just on this where I go over 2 very valuable lessons. Playing Chess with the Devil. I actually picked this up as kind of a compulsive buy because it was literally next to a book that I had decided I wanted to read. I'm glad I did. This is by a local author who they had a father who died of ALS, and it's about the struggle of dealing with that disease. Who's Sorry Now? This is the memoir of a movie and TV actor who was in the Matrix series. He was also in The Sopranos. So, and it's funny, he takes some of the pronunciation of the words he uses in The Sopranos from his mother. By the way, he's from Hoboken, Joe Pantoliano, and therefore he's probably the second most famous person from Hoboken. Many of you should know who the most famous is. Notes of a Native Son by James Baldwin. This is a sort of memoir and essays of James Baldwin. A brilliant man, great writer. If you look at lists of top 10 American authors, he's not on all of them, but he's on about half of them. He spent some time abroad as well. And in the 50s and 60s, he was prominent in the civil rights movement. And he black, gay, and atheist. This was just a fun book I picked up on the history of what we're taught about, the occult. So if you want to know things like where tarot began and all that, why we have the conceptions we do of people who are participating in these religions, this is a fun read, but don't look for heavy sociological material. Where do we go from here? Chaos or Community by Martin Luther King Jr. This is not a collection other people made of his writings. This is a book he himself actually wrote. Very interesting. There are several really prominent things that he mentions in this book that we have to deal with now. So he was very forward-thinking. He mentions cybernetics. He talks about automation. He discusses globalization, and he touches on universal basic income. The Beast of Bray Road. And this was a horrible book. I mean, just on many fronts. Definitely you can skip it. It's a local folklore book. I did a deep dive on a piece of Michigan folklore. I might do a video about it, about the Dogman sightings that happened in the late 70s or I think very early 80s here in Michigan. And while doing that deep dive, came across this work. It's utter trash. Thank you.